Hey everybody, happy holidays. Happy holidays. We are 4 days before Christmas. So I hope you guys, did y'all miss me last week? Did you miss me last week? The week got so far away from me last week, but it's all good. It's all good. So today is Tuesday. Of course, you know, we do Monday motivational, but today is something special because we are doing Testimony Tuesday today. So today should not be long, unless the Lord do something, we'll see what the Lord do. But today is Testimony Tuesday. And I think it is still I feel it's still a motivational message. So what I do want to say, first of all, thank you. Please like, share, comment our podcast, our YouTube. Make sure you like, share, comment. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend about this community that we got popping. Make sure, don't just keep it to yourself. The Lord said, give and it should be given down, given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and runneth over. Give the good news, y'all. Give the good news. Share it with somebody. It don't cost nothing to share. So just go ahead and share and let somebody else be encouraged on today or whatever. They may find a message that they may need at this moment. So make sure you guys share. Last week I posted a message on Facebook that said that 2021 had been probably one of my toughest years emotionally, even financially, mentally. This has literally been one of my toughest years in my 39 years of living. And it seemed like, especially these last couple months, it seemed like it's been battle after battle after battle after battle after battle. And I'm like, bruh, like, God, can I come up for air? And I promise you, it seems like everything turned around at the end of August. At the end of August, it seemed like things just shifted, and I believe I was in spiritual warfare. I really do. But out of that, you got to think, out of all of that, birthed this podcast, birthed the YouTube, birthed the release boot camp. And even when I made that post last week, I'm using it as something to acknowledge, okay, yes, I have been through all of this in 2021, but yet I am still standing. And I use the scripture, Galatians 6:9, that says, you will reap if you do not faint. If you may get weary, but do not give up. Do not give up. You're going to reap a harvest of blessings if you do not give up. Yes, you're tired, but do not give up. And I had to look at it as I've been through so much in the last couple of months that I am still standing. And I look at it as how before you exercise, let's say I like to run, I like to jog. So it's imperative that I actually stretch before I do it, before I start a run or before I start a jog. You have to stretch in order for you to endure the race, in order for me to endure that entire run and not get cramps and have to stop. I have to make sure that I stretch. And it's the same thing with God stretching you. God will stretch your faith so that you can you endure the race, so that you can endure and you can see the victory without even stopping. Because you get those cramps, them cramps may have you held up, them cramps will make you stop, them cramps will have you delayed. So if God does not stretch you right before you're about to go in a race, right before you're about to go in battle, right before the victory, like, you may get stopped and you may get delayed because you may get cramped up, you may get hurt, and you may get wounded because you did not stretch your muscles. So this entire time, I'm thinking like 2021 has been hard. I never thought, y'all, this past week, like, I'm gonna say today's Tuesday, so Saturday, I would have never thought I would have to face my biggest battle my biggest battle on Friday. Something I I did not see it coming, but I know for a fact that everything that I have been through was stretching my faith for that very moment on Saturday. I guarantee you that everything that I have been through since August, everything that I've been through since January, everything that has brought me to this point on Saturday literally was stretching my faith for that moment. So let me tell y'all what happened on Saturday. Let me tell you how God works first. So first of all, I went to Maryland to go pop up on my mom, and I see my sisters and rah. I wasn't even supposed to be in Salisbury. I wasn't supposed to be in Salisbury at all. I was planning on the original plan was that, so normally I had to preach on third Sunday. Well, I switched and I preached on second Sunday so that I could go to DC and hang out with my sisters and my best friend. So I wanted to go outside and play with my friends. So originally I was not even going to go to Salisbury. We were going to DC, but things got switched around, and I'm like, I'm going to surprise my mom. So even when I got in the car, when my sister picked me up from the airport Friday night, I was like, my mom has no clue that I'm even coming. Like, I've done booked a hotel and everything. So I'm like, my mom has no clue that I'm coming. So I think we probably got about 10 minutes from my mom, and I called her and see what she was doing. I was like, pull up on me. She was like, pull up on you? Where are you at? And I was like, pull up on me. And she was at my grandma's house, so we just made like a little detour and went on my grandma's house. Like, what are you doing here? So her and my grandma, they were so excited. Anyway, I go to the hotel, stayed at the hotel. The next day, she had some errands. She was running some errands. And me and my sister, we were in Target. We went to brunch and did some other stuff. All of a sudden, now I talked to my mom during the day. She had told me how she had went to the store and she got these things that I told her that she needed to get a long time ago. And she was just letting me know that she had picked them up. Well, they were back with it. She was letting me know that they ordered them. Anyway, so we all good. So we thinking we're about to go to Ocean City for dinner, and all of a sudden, like, I get this phone call that the ambulance is at my mama's house. Ambulance is at my mom's house, so I call around trying to figure it out, and they tell me, my mom was getting on the back of the ambulance or whatever. I thought it was one of my nephews, and no, it was my mom. My mom had an asthma attack, so I told my sisters, I was like, listen, I'm gonna pop up to the hospital. They probably can just give her a little treatment, and we'll be on our way. Absolutely not, y'all. When I literally get to the hospital, y'all, my mama is not breathing on her own. She's on a ventilator, and a ventilator is breathing for my mother. Like, she's not breathing at all. And I believe it was in that moment, like, my faith kicked in like never before. Like, that joint kicked in, and I'm like, my mama gonna be fine. Mama, she's gonna be fine. I already know the God that I serve. They only had 2 people that could go back there at a time, so I ended up being back there with my dad. I prayed over her, and all right, that's it. Point closed. God's got this. I kept confessing, my mom's gonna be fine. My mom's gonna be, to the point I am talking like, yo, when she wake up, it's gonna be on and popping. Like, sis, if you needed a break, you should have just said that. We could have sent you on vacation. You ain't have to do all of this. You did not have to do all of this. If you wanted a vacation, you want a break from everybody, you should have just told us. You ain't have to do this to us. So I'm like, I already know she's coming out. And I believe it's because every situation that God had put me up until that moment has stretched me and showed me just how faithful God is, just how mighty he was, and showed me that he could bring me out of anything. So that way, when I got to Saturday, I had to remember everything that God had brought me out of in the last couple months and know that he is not a God that can fail now. And it was for me to stand on his word and believe that you brought me out of all of this. You did not bring me this far just to drop me off and carry me through this. Absolutely not. This too shall pass. She shall live and she shall not die. And I had to keep confessing that thing. Now, I'm not telling you, baby, when I cried because I did not like seeing my mama like that. I did not like seeing her with the tubes up her nose and her eyes open and she can't hear me. Like, I did not like seeing that, and it hurt me. It hurt me to my heart. But if you know that God does not bring pain intentionally, but sometimes he just brings it to us so that we can be closer to him. And in that moment, forget everybody else. Yes, am I trying to comfort everybody else? I'm trying to be strong for everybody else. But in that moment, I only need God, because I know he is going to be the one to bring this through. He is going to be the miracle worker, and he's going to be the way maker. He is going to be the healer, and he is going to show his glory through this thing. Nothing else mattered. Yes, I cried. I was sad. I broke down. But at the end of the day, I knew the God that I served. I knew the God that I served. And it was not a shock to me when they called me and said, you know what, my dad called me and was like, the doctor just called and said, your mama is looking for her glasses because she cannot see. It wasn't a shock to me, because guess what? I know the God that I serve. I know that I have been faithful. I know that he hears my prayers. I know that he is not going to turn a deaf ear to my cries. I know the God that I serve. I know the God that I serve. But you have to know that whatever it is that you're going through, it is stretching your faith for a moment. It is stretching your faith for a time when you have to run the race, and he has to make sure that you endure through the whole thing. You won't be able to stop. What if I just stop praying? What if I just stop confessing in the middle of this thing? Absolutely not. He stretched me enough that during this entire process that I was able to continue to have a praise on my tongue. I was able to continue to have a confession and affirm that my mother was going to live and not die. And that is exactly what you have to do. You have to be able to speak through that thing, but it requires stretching. It requires your faith to be stretched. It really does. If you got a little teeny rubber band isn't going to hold my hair, but I have to get a little bigger one so that it can stretch more. And you have to be ready. God is stretching you. He's not stretching you to hurt you, but he is stretching you so that you can believe for more. He wants you to believe for more. So don't think that because I'm going through this and I'm going through that, baby, this thing is going to work together for your good. And you better believe when you get in a storm that's big and bad and ready to shut down in your face, you're going to be able to speak to that storm. You're going to be able to speak to that mountain and tell it to move. You're going to be able to speak to the storm and tell it to cease. You're going to be able to say, peace, be still, and that thing is going to be still. He's going to stretch you enough that when you're going to go through something, that you're going to have peace that surpasses all understanding. He is stretching you in this moment. You cannot give up, but you have to be willing to be stretched. You have to be willing to go through some things so you can be able to fight those bigger battles when they come along. You have to be able to believe for bigger. You have to believe for bigger. You can believe for your mortgage to be paid. You can believe for your car to be paid. But can you believe for somebody to live? Can you believe for total healing? He has to stretch you to that point that you can believe without a shadow of a doubt that God is a healer and he's a deliverer. He's a provider. He will keep you. He will bring you out. I tell y'all all the time, I think this has been like, if we go back to all the podcasts, I say about 80% of the podcasts, I tell you 1 Peter 5:10, that suffering only lasts for a little while. And after suffering lasts for a little while, he will restore you, strengthen you, support you, and put you on a firm foundation. And you got to believe it's just for a little while. Yes, it's that. Let me tell you something. The crap that I've been through has seemed literally like forever. Like August seemed like forever ago. But now I look at it, it is nothing compared to what we just overcame. It was nothing compared to what we just overcame. Nothing at all. And you have to know that somehow, some way, this is going to work together for everybody involved. everybody involved. It's going to work together for everybody's good, because this also was a moment for God to open up some eyes to some unbelievers also, to just show him how mighty he is, that God can do anything, that who cares what a doctor said, because them doctors said, oh, she gonna stay on that ventilator for 2 days. They say at least 2 days. My mom was off that ventilator by Sunday. By Sunday, she was off looking for her glasses, wondering why she's in the hospital. You can't tell me that we don't serve a God that can do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ever ask or think. So I come here today to tell you that God is stretching you, and he's stretching you so that you'll be able to endure the race, and that way you'll be able to see the victory. You got to be willing to be stretched. Yes, it hurts to stretch. I hate stretching, but I know it has to be done in order for me to complete the race. It has to be done so I don't get stopped, I don't get delayed, and I don't quit. You have to go through the stretching to get to your victory. You have to. So, my mama's good. My mama is home, y'all. My mama is home. She came home yesterday. Yesterday was yes. My days are starting to run together, so I want to say it was yesterday. I think she came home yesterday. But she's good. She's going to continue to be good. God is faithful. He is so, when I tell you the God that I serve is faithful. He is so faithful. He's so faithful. He's so faithful. He is so faithful, y'all. He's so faithful. He really is. He is faithful. And I'm telling you today, do not give up. Do not give up. I don't care what kind of fight that you're in. You cannot get up. You're going to reap the benefits if you do not give up. All right? I know it's the end of the year. I know a lot of us want to quit and just be like, let's start 2022. Baby, you better not. See, this is the last 2 minutes in a basketball game. Yeah, I ain't even gonna say 2 minutes. This is the last 30 seconds in a basketball game, and you down by 3 and you don't think you gonna win. So you just ready to take out the starters and put in your backup because the game is over. Baby, the game is not over. I'm telling you, the game is not over. This is not your time to quit. God can still pull a miracle out the hat. He can still make a miracle. He can still make a way. It may take us forever to figure it out, but it only takes God a millisecond, less than a millisecond, to turn that thing all the way around for you. All you got to do is just believe. If you pray and believe what you pray, it shall come to pass. But you got to believe that thing in your heart. You got to believe that thing in your mind. You cannot waver on it. You cannot waver on it at all. You cannot waver on it. You have to believe. And I know as hard as it hurts to believe, you just have to keep going. Just keep going. I kept going. I didn't quit. I was obedient to whatever God told me to do, and I didn't quit. I did not quit. I kept going. I could have gave up in August. I could have gave up in September. I could have gave up in October. I could have gave up in November. I could have gave up in December. But if I gave up in December, I would have gave up on my mom. Because I quit too early. Like, no, the job is not to quit. You cannot quit right before your breakthrough. You cannot quit. Like, you're almost there. You are literally almost there. You cannot quit. God is about to give you a fresh wind. He is giving you a fresh breath. He's giving you new wind. Like, you cannot quit. You cannot quit. This is going to be the opportunity where God carries you. This is where you're so weak and you're like, God, I can't keep going. And his strength is going to show up in you. You cannot quit in this moment. You cannot. I'm telling you, you cannot quit. Can't quit. All right? Now listen, I don't normally even do this on here, but guess what? Let me tell you something. If you think you're on the verge of quitting and you just like, Shelena, I just need prayer. I want you can email me. You can inbox me. You can call me. Do I want to put my phone? Yeah. All right. You can call me 443-235-6443. I will pray with you when you call me. I'll pray with you when you call me. Because guess what? This is not your season to quit. And I'm not going to let you quit. I'm not going to let you quit. God has too much in store for you. You know how I know he has too much in store for you? Because you are still here. You are still standing on this earth. There's still things that God has for you to do. There's still things that God has promised you that still have not come to pass. God's word is not going to return to him void. Listen, no. If you need prayer, call. You need prayer, email me. Guess what? We're going to work this thing all the way out. We're going to work it out, okay? So, if I don't talk to you guys before, I might pop up again. I don't know. If I don't talk to you before Saturday, have a Merry Christmas. Have a happy, I'll be back here next week. I was about to say have a happy new year, but I'll be back here next week, guys. I'll be back here next week. But just do not quit. Do not quit. All right? I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.